How much capital do I require for income of 1 lakh? Simple. First is your capital. You want to find out how much capital you need and how much money you want to make 1 lakh per month. When I go to my capital and my calculations, what I'm aiming at is 0.5 to 1% per week. So it is 2 to 4% per month. Let's say you're making 2%, the lower end of it. How much money will be required to make 1 lakh per month? I think you have to divide 1 lakh by 2%. I think that should come around 50 lakhs. And if it is 4%, it will come around 25 lakhs. So basically, you have to be somewhere in between this to consistently make 1 lakh per month. Now, is it really like that? Not always. You can make more money in some months, you can make less money in some months, and you can consistently keep making money like this. These are just average figures. Okay. Now, why not target more than 0.5 to 1% per week? Because based on my calculations, what I've found out is to have a reasonable margin of safety. All right. How do you get margin of safety? By going away from the current market price. So right now, let's say we are trading at 37,700. I would like to be, let's say, 1,000 points away from it. Okay. So it's a reasonable margin of safety. If you want something like this in your trading, a reasonable margin of safety, then the premiums drop, right? If the premiums are dropping and the credit spread you want to make some money, you have to increase the number of lots. Now, for each lot, there is a certain amount of margin required. Now, the second requirement or restriction I have put is the margin utilized at any moment should not exceed 50% of your capital. So, if you have 25 lakhs, you should not employ more than 12.5 lakhs in margin. So, these two restrictions you have to put. So what I found out is that if I keep a reasonable margin of safety and I keep 50% of capital, for adjustments, I can make around 0.5 to 1%. Now that was kind of, I reached this 0.5 to 1% figure like this. Doing it for multiple weeks, trying it out on multiple premiums, I found that okay, I can comfortably make 1.5 to 1%. Now, when I said okay, 0.5 to 1%, but how much that is per week? How much is it in a year? Then I found out that it comes to around 26 to 52% if I make money on every week. Obviously, it's not going to happen. Let's say we make 80% of these returns. So that is still 20 to 40%. The risk-free rate of return FD rates is somewhere around 5 to 6%. This is 3 to 4 times more than that. Now, and that's at the lower end I'm saying. At the higher end, it's like 8 times the risk-free rate of return. That is fantastic. So I said, I want to make consistent money. I have to be reasonable in my expectation. Why do you have to be reasonable? Now, just imagine like if you're in a job, the head of your company, and let's say you are in somewhere in middle management, maybe roughly there is I don't know, 5 to 10 times the difference in salary. Closer you are to the top, this disproportionately increases. But there is only one head of your company, and probably if you are in middle management, there are thousands like you. How much time is it going to take you to reach this level? Whether you'll be able to reach this level or not, the kind of pressures you'll have to deal with, all these questions you have to weigh against a reasonable rate of return. Arranging 50 lakhs to 25 lakhs of capital is not a big thing. It's not a big thing. It can happen quite quickly if you are very deliberate about it and you control your expenses and all those kinds of things. It's not very difficult to reach that level in certain amount of time. And once you reach there, then if you are happy with this kind of returns, okay, and then you're still making 1 lakh per month. If you use this logic, okay, and this figure comes from that logic, if you are targeting 0.5 to 1%, you will always have a reasonable, a good amount of margin of safety. You will always be using only 50% of your margins, not more than that. And these two things will keep you away from catastrophic losses. So I did make a 1.5% loss, but it did not stop me from trading. It did not destroy me mentally. It just is a small setback which I can probably recover in 2 or 3 weeks, and I'll be on my way to make consistent profits. Make sense? So if you do this consistently, you do this for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, you become very good at it, and you become very good at assessing how much margin of safety you require when the markets are not actually good to deploy this strategy and all these kinds of things. And then this becomes very, very possible and with very little stress. A very simple answer is to tell you the amount of capital, but it's not that simple. It's not just the amount of money you need or the percentage return you are calculating.